Get a better view of what happened. Now you see the TBI out here, SWAT along with several other police units, including Bartlett police. Now this home with the light on right here, I'm told this is the home where the officer involved shooting happened. Of course, we're still gathering to get more information. Now at this time, TBI and police are not talking, but I did get information from the uncle of the man involved. He says his nephew, 39-year-old Toby Bailey, was depressed because he lost a janitorial job contract. He got intoxicated last night and threatened his wife. The wife called police, and I'm told Bailey threatened to kill the police officers if they didn't get off his property. Now police were able to get Bailey's wife and the 4 children out of the home safely, but I'm told Bailey did barricade himself inside the home. SWAT tried to negotiate. Once they entered the home, he fired shots, and SWAT officers fired back, and Bailey was pronounced dead at the scene. Now we are still waiting to get more information again from authorities. They are not talking at this time. The only information I have is from Bailey's uncle. I'm told that all of this happened between 9:30 last night and midnight. Reporting live in Bartlett, Jeane Francine. Good day, Memphis.
Well, supporters packed the Lander Center in South Haven last night to see President Trump, who is campaigning for U.S. Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith. The
president also renewed his support of Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. President Trump talked a lot about Kavanaugh, who is under a new FBI investigation this week for allegations of sexual misconduct. He questioned the credibility of Kavanaugh's multiple accusers and slammed Democrats for what he called delay and destroy tactics.
Democrats know, and all they really know how to do is obstruct, resist, demolish, destroy, and delay. They've been trying to destroy Judge Kavanaugh since the very first second he was announced, because they know Judge Kavanaugh will follow the Constitution as written.
President Trump also urging Mississippians to vote in strong numbers and to keep the Magnolia State's other Senator Roger Wicker in office.
Well, Local 24 News has confirmed that around the same time of President Trump's arrival in Memphis last night, a Memphis police officer and a Memphis police lieutenant were involved in a 3-car wreck. Rachel Ford Jones shared this picture of the crash at Airways in Shelby, a relative of the driver of the pickup truck, telling us that police directing traffic there at that intersection gave mixed commands. That caused the police cruiser to hit the silver pickup truck, and that hit the black SUV. The driver of the SUV identified himself as a Memphis police lieutenant. Secret Service in the area stopped there at the scene.
All right, it's coming up on 7:04 for you now. 2 men charged in the murder and president and the CEO of the Greater Memphis Chamber had 2 different outcomes in court. Quandarius Richardson and McKinney Wright Jr. are facing charges for the shooting death of Phil Trineri last Thursday night on South Front Street. The judge listed a bond for Richardson at $25,000. Wright ordered to stay behind bars, no bond. The 16-year-old also charged in the case will remain in juvenile detention.
Continuing coverage on those hundreds of guns stolen from a UPS facility in Memphis, we've learned the firearms were tracked down in Illinois. Now, 2 men pictured in the surveillance photo face a long list of charges this morning after Sunday's theft at the Whitehaven facility. Chicago native Roland Jackson, said to be the driver of the U-Haul, discovered outside of Chicago and is on the run after bailing from police. The passenger, Tavian Turnbow, was captured shortly after he tried to run away. Police say 3 of those more than 350 guns had already been sold.
You can expect a text message from President Trump here in just hours as the Federal Emergency Management Agency tests a new warning system. The goal here is to alert you to emergencies like severe weather and missing children. Mobile devices will receive the alert to everyone at 1:18 this afternoon. The message will be titled Presidential Alert, but will indicate that it is only a test of the National Wireless Emergency Alert System. Major cell phone carriers like AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, and Sprint are participating. FEMA will also test the emergency alert system on radio and television stations.
Well, the New York Times says that President Trump participated in tax schemes during the 1990s that increased the fortune he received from his parents. According to the report, Trump received today's equivalent of at least $413 million from his father. But much of that money came from schemes to help his parents evade paying taxes on his father's fortune. The New York State Department of Taxation and Finance says that the agency is vigorously pursuing all appropriate avenues of investigation.
Coming up on 7:06 now, the White House says it expects Congress to embrace the latest trade deal between the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. This would replace the North American Free Trade Agreement, also known as NAFTA. Under the new deal, auto companies must buy more U.S. parts from North American manufacturers. Mexican automobile plants must increase pay for workers, and U.S. dairy farmers will be able to sell more dairy products in Canada. The deal still needs congressional approval, but lawmakers probably won't get around to it until at least the end of the year.
Well, the midterm elections are in 5 weeks, and the Department of Homeland Security says it's working to protect our votes. But critics question why President Trump hasn't backed legislation to make voting more secure. We're following this exclusively from our Washington bureau. Secretary of Homeland Security says that the president is taking security very seriously and that the administration's actions through sanctions are proof of that. But Senator Ron Wyden says that more needs to be done. He's calling on the administration to support his bill called the Protecting American Votes and Elections Act of 2018.
Would ensure that everyone gets a paper ballot so that there is a way to prevent the hackers because you've got a paper trail.
Homeland Security says that it's not seeing the same cybersecurity threats as it did in 2016 for the elections, but it will remain prepared. Time now, 7:07. Here's Chelsea with her eyes on traffic.
Well, it has been a very quiet morning for us so far. Now we're officially in rush hour and not seeing any kind of problems here. So interstate traffic moving smoothly, nice and green as traffic continues to move smoothly and at posted speed limits, which is a nice change for this time of day. We don't have any accidents, but we do still have the one situation where you saw Jeane Francine a little while ago. That is still an active investigation, and therefore Stage Road is still blocked between Lynchburg Street and Old Brownsville Road. Now the good news is we do have a couple of alternates. You got Bartlett Road, Bartlett Boulevard. You can still use Old Brownsville Road on the north side, as well as Covington Pike. You can take each of these up to Yale Road, and those would be your best bet at this time in order to avoid that area. Again, the rest of the interstate system moving smoothly. It's still green across the board, including 240 westbound between the flyover to 385. So that is incredibly unusual. 385 west on from Winchester to 240 is quiet, as well as the north leg of the loop. So no worries if you're heading out at this time, but as that changes, I'll be monitoring it and keeping you up to date with your time saver traffic.
Still to come for you this morning on Good Day Memphis, a dad's Instagram post has started a movement.
Yeah, if you're a father and changed a diaper, you've certainly been there. I know I have. This is a topic often overlooked, but it's now leading to conversation about equality and parenting responsibilities.
Also for you this morning, moving into your purpose, a local pastor's inspirational words, making local good news. First, though, let's check in with Chelsea, who's got her eyes on our weather headlines. Another warm day.
Yeah, unfortunately, even hotter than what we have been dealing with. It seems it has to get worse before it can get better. And keeping an eye on that humidity as well. It continues to climb. And look at your weekend. Looking for any kind of relief in sight. I've got details coming up in your forecast right here on Good Day Memphis.
watching Good Day Memphis at 7 with John Paul, Caitlin Lockerbie, and Local 24 Storm Team meteorologist Chelsea Chandler with the Mid-South's most accurate forecast. This is Good Day Memphis at 7.
All right, it's 7:12 here on Good Day Memphis at 7. So glad you're with us.
Thanks for waking up with us. Chelsea's got our eyes on our temperatures. They are not letting up, but it's still pool weather out there.
Yeah, if their pool's open, today would be a good day for it. It is going to be nice and toasty once again. Right now, we're actually still dealing with some patchy fog in some areas. Tunica down to 3 miles of visibility, as well as Corinth. So definitely want to be careful in those areas. Everyone else looks pretty good, though. As far as what you can expect today, well, we're going to be right around 90 degrees with some areas, of course, hotter, feeling like 96 again, with some even above that. So obviously, that means humidity is very high again, so that's contributing to what that feels like. That also contributes to our rain chances. They're minimal at 10%, so at best, you may see a shower that may pop up as a result of that heat and humidity, but overall, I expect us just to stay dry and hot. It is going to be a little breezy with southwesterly winds coming in between 5 to 10 miles an hour, so overall, you want to stay cool. Make sure you're staying hydrated. Our high today is 90. We should average about 79, so we are way off the mark today. Now, if you're stepping outside right now, you are seeing pretty mild conditions, still in the mid to upper 60s, low 70s, 71 degrees here in Memphis. Now look at these numbers. Now I'm going to turn on a dew points, and you can see they're very similar to our temperatures. That's why we've been dealing with some of that fog this morning. But this is also what is giving us an idea of what it's going to be the rest of the day. So right now we're in the upper 60s. That's not good. It's very muggy. But as we get through the rest of the day, we're going to see these numbers getting into the low 70s. That's how we measure humidity. And when it's in the low 70s, it means it's going to be oppressive. And unfortunately, it's not going to get any better until it has to get worse first. So we're keeping an eye on that. Of course, you want to stay hydrated, look before you lock, because on days like this, again, it's just oppressive and very hard to be outside with. As far as your temperatures, around 10 a.m., we're already in the 80s, feeling like the mid 80s. Your lunch hour, 87, feels like 94. Again, your high of 90 degrees going to feel more like 96, and not really going to see any kind of relief until the sun sets a little after. We'll see that cooling down a little after 7, but even then, it's still muggy. All of that has to do with this high pressure that continues to build. It draws in that heat, humidity, and moisture from the Gulf. It also blocks any of the cold fronts that are coming in. So all of that cool fall air is staying off to our west and northwest. So unfortunately, we're still dealing with all of this heat and humidity and not getting any relief anytime soon. Throughout the day, pretty calm. You'll see again a mix of sun and clouds. It's hot. Not seeing much on the radar here as far as checking any kind of rain. I expect it to be pretty quiet. You may see a pop-up shower, but at best, again, it's just going to be hot. As we get into the evening hours, it's quiet overnight. Not seeing too much happening, setting us up for almost identical day tomorrow. So the only problem with tomorrow is it's even hotter. When we look at your full 7-day forecast, you can see again, up to 91 tomorrow. It's going to feel like the upper 90s. So definitely want to be careful as you get outside, both today and through the rest of the work week. It's dry, it's hot, it's sunny. That's what you get with that high pressure. It won't be until this weekend that we start to see some rain chances coming in late Saturday into Sunday. It helps drop our temperature slightly. Columbus Day on Monday, going to be in the mid 80s, starting to see those temperatures drop into next week, but it won't be until next weekend until we possibly see fall return. But we'll keep an eye on it and keep you up to date with the latest on our Facebook page. Make sure you go to Local Memphis and follow us there. All right, taking a look at the roadways, not seeing any kind of big problems. This is very unusual for us. We're not seeing any accidents or delays, even though we are in rush hour. So that is a nice start for us so far. So looking good as you head out and about. We do have one issue. It isn't an accident. We are seeing again just where Jeane Francine has been reporting of the overnight barricade situation that's still an active investigation. Again, not seeing major disruption to traffic flow around it. Of course, it is still blocked, though. Stage Road between Lynchburg Street and Old Brownsville Road. But the good news is you got a couple of options. You got Covington Pike. You can still use Old Brownsville on the north side. You can also use Bartlett Road and Bartlett Boulevard up to Yale Road. That's your best option for right now. Again, just avoiding that area. Again, very unusual to see our interstates as quiet as they are. We're still seeing green across the board for 240 West, 385 West, and the north leg. I'm going to continue to monitor that, though, with your time saver traffic.
It's 7:16 here on Good Day. Still to come this morning, claiming what's rightfully yours.
A pastor's message on moving from captivity to the palace. We'll explain what that means in local good news. You're watching Good Day Memphis.
You're watching Good Day Memphis at 7.
Welcome back. The Women in Business Expo this past weekend was a chance for women to connect, network, and help each other.
One author and pastor from Jackson, Tennessee has a simple message for you. It's time for you to move from captivity to the palace. Local 24 news anchor Katina Rankin shares her message. It's local good news this morning.
There is a process that we all have to go through to get to this place of freedom.
Pastor Monique Grant spent some time in Germantown recently. The Jackson, Tennessee pastor and new author listened intently at the Women in Business Expo as speaker after speaker shared their stories of success and struggle.
Women could not come to their full potential because of a lot of stuff they didn't deal with that happened to them in the past. It may have been hurt, disappointments.
She had a message of her own for women based on her recently released book, From Captivity to the Palace. She says captivity involves being stuck in your past, your pain.
In order for you to really have freedom and really be successful in life, you have to deal with those things. And until you deal with that, you really can't live. You're just existing.
But she says there is hope for a better tomorrow.
God revealed to me that there is a place which I label as the palace. Every person on earth can experience the palace. That is a place of freedom. That is a place of expansion.
Grant says it involves being authentic.
When you uncover yourself before people, that becomes your greatest deliverance as well as their greatest deliverance.
And Grant says that transparency is local good news. Katina Rankin, Good Day Memphis.
Well, an Instagram photo of a man squatting on the floor of a restaurant bathroom to change his baby's diaper, now going viral and starting a movement. Palmer and other fathers now starting a movement called Squat for Change, hoping it brings attention to what he says is a big need for changing tables in men's restrooms. The man says the broader issue is about dads being treated as equals to moms and sharing the responsibilities when it comes to parenting. Good dad.
Been there, and you get creative when
floor?
you're trying to avoid putting your baby on the nasty bathroom floor to change a diaper.
I hope that wasn't a messy one, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know, right? All right, Chelsea's here with a look at the forecast. How do we transition from messy diapers to hot weather? How do we do it?
Well, some may relate this forecast to what may be in those diapers.
Okay, I'm with you there.
Stinks. All right, it's going to be hot. It's going to be, I tried, y'all. It's going to be hot. It's going to be humid. We're going to be mild in the 70s, but muggy this morning. Partly cloudy skies, minimal rain chances all day, but we're going to be up near 90 degrees today, feeling like the mid to upper 90s. So expect it to be a very hot day. You want to stay hydrated and find ways to stay cool. The roadways have definitely lit up. So I'm going to give you an update on all these accidents coming up in a few minutes.
Not the S word I was thinking. It's time for sports.
This is Local 24 News, Good Day Memphis.
Good morning, I'm Caitlin Lockerbay.
And I'm John Paul at 7:23, and this is a Good Day Memphis update. We're taking a look at your top stories.
Following this for you.
Breaking news, a standoff situation with police ends with a man dead. That issue developing overnight since 9:30 yesterday. They're at Covington Pike and Stage in Bartlett. Still an active scene. TBI has gotten involved. The area is still blocked off right now. We're told the man threatened his family, the wife calling police for help. The man threatened police officers, and we are told he fired shots, but it's not yet known if it was at officers directly. But again, TBI on the scene, staying on track of this one.
And the Shelby County Commission is expected to discuss plans to the TBI to do more digging into officer-involved shootings. Both commissioners and Memphis City Council members want the TBI to look into all officer-involved shootings, not just fatal ones.
That's a look at our top stories.
This is Local 24 News. Good day, Memphis.
All right, well, unfortunately, we are once again dealing with a really hot and humid day ahead. It does not feel anything like it should be. We should be looking at temperatures in the 70s. Instead, our high today, 90 degrees, and it is very humid, so it's going to be feeling like the upper 90s again, 96 degrees and above for some areas. So no wonder, again, our humidity very high in the oppressive state, so it's going to be, the dew points will be in the 70s, which is why it's going to feel so bad out there. Our rain chances, very minimal, but it will be breezy at times with south-southwesterly winds between 5 to 10 miles an hour. When we look at these temperatures and what they'll feel like, again, by 10 o'clock, we're already in the 80s, feeling like the mid 80s. By lunchtime, it already feels like 94. And as again, we reach our high this afternoon, 90 degrees, feels like 96. So stay cool, look before you lock, and just make sure you're staying hydrated.
That's it for us. More local news and weather from Local 24 in 30 minutes.
We'll see you in a half hour.
From Local 24, forecast first from the Local 24 Storm Team, the Mid-South's most accurate forecast.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Chelsea Chandler, tracking what is going to be another very hot and oppressively humid day ahead. When we look at your forecast first, we're still in the 70s to start, but we're heading towards 90 degrees today, feeling like the mid to upper 90s. Will we see any relief anytime soon? I've got details in your forecast.
This is a CW30 breaking news alert.
A standoff situation ending tragically. A man is dead after a police-involved shooting. The issue pressing through the night.
Yes, certainly it's a developing story right now. Our crew is at the scene here, Covington Pike and Stage in Bartlett. Let's get to Local 24 News reporter Janae Francine for the latest. Janae, what are you learning?
Well, John, it's still an active scene out here. I'm going to step out of the way so you can see. You see the TBI and police units are still out here now. They just redid the crime scene tape, so I can't tell if they're expanding it or not, but I do see a school bus back there, so they're probably allowing for children to get on. But now that the sun is up, you can actually get a closer look of where this shooting happened. At this moment, police still aren't talking, authorities aren't either, but I did get information from the uncle of the man involved. He says his nephew, 39-year-old Toby Bailey, was depressed because he lost a janitorial job contract. He got intoxicated last night, and then he threatened his wife. Now, the wife called police, and I'm told Bailey threatened to kill the police as well if they didn't get off of his property. He then barricaded himself inside of his home, but police were able to get Bailey's wife and 4 children out of the home safely. Once barricaded inside, SWAT was called to the scene. I'm told they did try to negotiate, but unfortunately, once they got inside of the home, we're told that Bailey did fire shots, and so the SWAT team fired back, and Bailey was pronounced dead. Now, we haven't been told if Bailey actually fired shots at the officers. We are still working to find that out, along with other information, but at this time, we are told that this scene started at 9:30 last night, and by midnight, Bailey was dead. Again, all of this information I'm getting from Bailey's uncle. We still have not gotten official word, but of course, as soon as I get that, you will be the first to know. Reporting live in Bartlett, Jeane Francine, Good Day Memphis.